Okay, here we go. Welcome to Physics 2054 for Summer B. I'm the instructor. My name is Thomas Brickner, and there's the spelling for it, Brueckner. It's one of those German names that's infinitely mispronounceable and infinitely misspellable. So if you feel like you're going to blow it, you can refer to me as Dr. B. That's perfectly fine. All right, my research area is theoretical astrophysics. And I know that a lot of you guys are in medical or heading for medical careers and stuff, so I'll try to dial down the astrophysics references during this Summer B. But just so you know, the stuff that I study, among other things, is black holes in the early universe. So if you have an interest in that, I'll be happy to talk to you about it at any time. We won't be studying the theory of relativity or anything this semester. There's another course, a few courses for that. But now I last taught this sequence back in summer A of 2015, but it was a much smaller class. So we're going to do things a little bit differently than we did in summer 2015. Here's the basic topics. Fluids, electromagnetism, optics, and a little bit of X-rays and radioactivity in the last week of Summer B. All right. We're going to do some observations, but first I want to introduce our TA. This is Dan Reinhardt, and he's going to be homework grader for our class. We're going to be having written homework every week to turn in. So much fun. I see guys up and down going, yeah. Well, anyways, Dan and I'm going to be grading some of it, and Dan's going to be grading some of it. So anyways, Dan's going to be around. He's also going to have some office hours. Any theory on that yet?
Probably on Wednesdays in the afternoon.
Okay, probably Wednesday afternoons. He also is a TA for Physics 2048, so if you have friends in that class, he's one of the lab TAs for that. Anyways, he'll be around, and thanks, Dan.
All right, thanks.
Good. Yep. Okay, now I want to do some observations with you, and let's just go through this quickly. We're going to pause the podcast right here. I've got some demonstrations up here. Get your notebook out. Get ready to take notes. This is our first science lesson. Then we'll go over the syllabus after this. And what I'm going to be doing is an experiment that actually will help you understand some of the chapters or some of the topics that you ought to have taken in Physics 2053 and might not have taken. But it's about fluids, which is our first chapter. So sharpen up your eyeballs. Raise your hand if you're, just for reference, who was in 2053 during summer A? Oh, good. Okay, good. A number of yous. Another question. How many of you, I know this is going to be a lot of hands. How many of you are seniors? It's well over half. I already checked. I mean, I know how many. I just want to show of hands. All right, now raise your hand again if you're a senior and you're figuring that you're going to graduate this semester. Oh my goodness. Well, you guys are under the gun. Let's get to it. What I've got over here, turn the lights up a little bit. Yeah, this class is definitely not, for those seniors that are fixing to graduate, it's definitely going to be, no, it's not going to be that hard. I mean, if you do normal amount of studying, but you're going to be really nervous. Steel can, nothing in it. Could you come up here and help? I need a volunteer from the audience. Now, what we're going to see is little droplets of water forming a cloud. See, there it comes. All right? All right, now I'm going to take this off and quickly put on the lid. Now, we've heated up the air and the water there, but there's not much air. Okay? And well, are you making notes? What do you see? Write down what you see in your notes. This is scientific observation number 1. Well, that's not. You know what that is? It's air pressure. There's not much air inside, plenty of air outside here where we are. Air pressure. And we're going to be talking about air pressure today. It's still going on. Wow, it's crumpled up on the backside of that too. Because as the water vapor and mainly the air inside cools, the pressure decreases. As the pressure decreases, it can't equilibrate with the outside. So it just continues to lower. And the outside just stays, the ambient air pressure, whatever it is today, 1,001 millibars or something. It's, what it is. And it can't equilibrate. More pressure outside, less pressure inside pressing out, smushed. Until it breaks open a leak. And then we got a whole other set of problems. Okay, that's our observation for today. That's air pressure and a little bit of water vapor pressure. Whoa. Let's continue with our lecture. And students, I see guys sitting in the aisle. I don't mind, but if the fire marshal comes in here, he might not like it. So, anyways, here's Daniel. Have your iClicker ready, and I know a bunch of you had it. You showed your. But what we're going to do right now is take a look at this syllabus. So. Let's see if we can start handing these out. Can you talk what the syllabus is? Can you take one for yourself? Okay. And just go up the aisle. Don't count them out. Just give out handfuls on each row as you go up. Could you help with? And just give them out a few on each row. And if you guys in the middle have extras, just send them up to them. And that way everybody will get some. And we'll just take a minute to get that done. This thing is really, look at this. Still doing hot. Look at that. It's totally smushed in all. Even on the bottom, it's smushed in. And the top. Amazing. It's amazing when you think about how, if you could do that. It's hard enough to smush a soda pop can. you know, but that is just air. Air and the absence of air. So send those across and uphill. Who doesn't have any? Who doesn't have a syllabus? Back row? Okay, we're getting them to you. Thanks for popping in. Did you get, oh.
Yes, I got one.
Okay, and I got one right here. Okay, we're going to go over the syllabus now, and then we'll take a little break. And then we'll get down to some more instruction on fluids. And by the way, students, I am recording this lecture, and I'll be posting it in YouTube after class. And if you're ever absent, you'll be able to go and see everything except your classmates and me. You'll be able to see everything that's on the screen, and you'll be able to hear my narration. And some of the students up in the front, if they ask a question, you can sometimes hear that. So that'll be on YouTube. And I know a bunch of you have, who's actually taken a click onto the YouTube link in web courses? Raise your hands. Well, just a few of you. Anyways, there's a little mini YouTube that I set up for you to look at. And it's mainly going to be lectures, though. So, and I'll be doing that tonight. Okay, does anybody not have a syllabus? Can you send some over this way? All right. All right. Who's got extras? Leftovers? Okay. Send the leftovers down to the front and down to the middle front. If you have any. You good? You guys good? Send them on down here. Just give them to the person on the aisle. Yeah, just send those down. Now find a seat to sit in. Okay. Or sneak in under the... I saw people climbing over and sneaking over. This is nice. I haven't taught in here for several years. All right. Let's take a look at the syllabus. Here's the basic specs from the very top. There's my name again. And just send them over. Put them on top of the projector. Okay, thanks. My office is room 156 in the Physical Sciences building, which is just kind of cut past the student medical service, and then past counseling, and then, the bus stop there, that's right by the Physical Sciences building. And I'm on the first floor of it. Office hours, I'll have weekly office hours, and maybe even more than one office hour. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to do it. Last time I taught a summer B class, or a summer A class of this kind. I had office hours after class, but that was for an earlier lecture. So I don't think I'm going to do them after this lecture. But I'll figure out something. And Dan's going to have some too. Okay, course description. We already talked about it. Fluids, electricity, and magnetism. Optics, X-rays, and radioactivity. You're supposed to be in a lecture, a lab section, and that is separate from what I do. All right, they're not coordinated. That's a separate curriculum. So it would be better if they were coordinated, but it doesn't happen to be coordinated. So we're kind of SOL as far as that goes. Textbook, Young and Stadler, version of Cutnell and Johnson Physics, 10th edition. Email. No, don't use it. And I saw a few of you did send me emails this morning. I'm not going to point anybody out, but the reason I don't do that, especially in a class of this size, is it would just overwhelm my email. And two, it's not confidential. I can't talk to you about grades and stuff in regular email. But in web courses, yes. All right, so it says here, only messaging in web courses. Now, if you're in discussions in web courses, You can post questions there about, like a homework problem you're stumped on or something like that. But do not post your phone number or anything personal in discussions, and especially nothing about your own personal grades on either homework or exams. Okay, that's not the place for it. If you have to ask me something about your grade in a homework or an exam, then inbox messaging is the way to do it. All right, final exam, August 2nd. That's a Thursday. And it's 3 to 4:50 p.m. officially. That's our normal class lecture time. And the final exam in summer is the last lecture meeting of the semester, so that's what that is. Homework in web courses will ordinarily be due at the beginning of the next lecture. We'll also have some paper homework, written homework to hand in for a grade on problems, and that'll be due in lecture on not Fridays, but Thursdays. Okay? And any questions about this so far? Yes. The question is, will you get the GTA's email? Not from me. But you can ask him and go to his office hours. But his name is Daniel. Well, it's in several slides back. I forget his last name already. I just met him this morning. Dan Reinhardt. Here's the last edition, one of the last editions to the slides. Anyways, Daniel Reinhardt is in web courses as a TA. So if you type in Daniel and then R, it'll go right, bring him up, and then you can send him a message. And then he can give you his email. Okay, I'm not going to do that. Okay, for those of you that do not have the textbook yet, guess what? We're getting it free through web courses, the ebook version. Has anybody actually obtained it yet through web courses? You did it? Anybody get it through web courses yet? It's supposed to be in the lady that's in charge of the textbook representative. She'll be here tomorrow to show you how to get it. It's supposed to be when you click on an assignment. No, when you click in the study tools area, one of those is supposed to link out to wileyplus.com, and then that's how you download the ebook. Now, I've done that, but I did it through a different route, a faculty website. But supposedly, you guys will be able to get that. So if you're from another semester and you don't have the Wiley text, the Cutnell and Johnson, don't sweat it. Just use the ebook as soon as I'll try to find out exactly how to get to it. See, because the student side doesn't work for me the way it works for you guys. Question?
I found it. If you go to modules, all the way at the bottom it says Wiley Plus.
Right. Okay, so down at the bottom, what's the name of the module? It's study and tools?
All the way at the bottom it says Wiley Plus Read, Study, and Practice.
Right, okay. And in there, there's 3 of them in there, I think. Which one is it that you used? So underneath the academic integrity module, and then underneath the first homework is read, study, and prepare, I guess. And there's 3 links in there. Which one do you click?
It only shows me one link.
It does?
And then you click on it, it opens like the ebook. I guess you can go link through there.
All right, so there you go. All right, so see what you can see, and hopefully that works out good for everybody. Now, if you have the ebook and you download it to your computer, you can use the Bookshelf app, and the Bookshelf app is very, very nice. And I love using it because it really helps me communicate to you guys about what I think is important in the text, in the ebook. All right, so we'll talk more about that tomorrow. Okay, here's our list of tasks for the semester. 3 midterms, and we'll keep the best 2 out of 3 scores. So make sure you're here for each midterm. You have the schedule, all right? And we'll keep the best 2 out of 3. And then we have 25 points from homework. And that's going to be all smushed together. I mean, we might have way more than 25 homework questions, but it'll all be smushed down and converted into 25 points. Same with class participation. We'll probably have way more than 25 class participation questions with iClickers, and that'll be converted to 25 points. Then the final exam is 100 points, total of 250. Any questions about that? Yes, up front. Question, is the final cumulative? The answer to that is YES, yes. So, as I said, it's going to be, I'm going to be doing things a little bit differently this summer than I would teaching the same class during a fall or spring semester. But it will still be a very big challenge, simply because even if I gave you all easy problems, which I won't, but even if I did give you all really simple questions and problems, it would still be difficult because you're cramming it all into 6 weeks instead of, 14 weeks is hard enough. You know, sometimes you don't savvy stuff until, a year later. I know that's true for me, so. But we'll work together. It's my job to teach you in a way that you can crush everything in your path, including my exams. Okay, policies. All general UCF policies apply, especially the Golden Rule and the UCF Creed. Now, I'm going to make a serious point here, and I want everybody to take note of what I'm about to say. We found some students cheating in my summer A class, and they're now going through the process, the Office of Student Conduct, okay? And I don't know if they're going to get, and I don't know what they're going to get, but they're probably going to get at least a Z on their transcript. Nothing to do about that. And then I do stuff with their grades and stuff, and I'm not going to mention that, but they have adverse things, adverse consequences of that. And I know, especially, I'm not going to look at anybody, but there's going to be people in here that feel the pressure to do dishonest things. Now, these students, summer A, were using GroupMe during an exam, right? And I don't have any mercy on students that do things like that. Simply because I'm always in favor of the student that's working their tail off and maybe they get a C. Those are the students that I go to bat for, not a thief. All right, so if I see somebody that's doing that, forget about any mercy from Dr. B. So one of the few things where I'm going to be as harsh as I want to be. All right? So take that to heart. Also, that is why I have the academic integrity module in place for everybody. Now, if you took it last semester, or if this is your first semester at UCF, good. Some of you have taken it several years ago. This is actually a new version of it. It's not grievously difficult, but it does go through a mock incident of cheating and a bunch of people talking about it and stuff. So work your way through that and take the test. And that will count as your attendance quiz for summer B. And everybody knows, what the federales require is that everybody be verified that they're actually participating if they're getting federal financial aid. So basically what they're looking for is clicks inside web courses during the first week of classes. All right, so let that be your clicking. We got other stuff too. We got regular homework as well. But this will be the official homework for the purposes of attendance. Okay, any questions about that? The UCF Creed and the Golden Rule and cheating versus staying straight. Okay, let's keep going. Accommodations. UCF is committed to providing reasonable accommodations for all persons with disabilities, and I share the same commitment. Students with disabilities who need accommodations must be registered with Student Accessibility Services, SAS, over in Farrell Commons, room 185. And the phone number is there for you in the teletype as well. And you have to do that before requesting accommodations from me. Students that are registered with SAS that need accommodations must initiate contact through SAS and Knights Access. And there's the website for SAS. No accommodations will be provided until the student has used the SAS Knights Access system to request accommodations. So, I do it every semester. So just get your paperwork rolling over at SAS. And I've already got one student, SAS professor letter. So if that applies to you, just get that paperwork rolling, and we'll get it squared away, and we'll easily do all the accommodations that are required. We do it every semester, so we have a good system. Okay, and if you have questions about that particular topic, you could talk to me after lecture or before Tuesday lecture if I'm here early. Okay, mandatory exam attendance. And this is also a serious and standard policy for the physics department. At UCF, academics comes first. Attendance at exams is mandatory. University excused absences are only for religious observances, intercollegiate activities and athletics, military call-up, and university-verified family or medical emergency. Okay, so family emergency is like fall semester when we had Hurricane Irma and we got blazed out for over a week. Okay, that's okay. But other than that, it's got to be something that we can verify stuff. And same with medical, all right? So weddings, plane tickets that your parents got at Priceline.com, etc., are not legitimate excuses. And some of you that are going to listen to this lecture in YouTube, you're not here right now because you told me you're not going to be here for the first day of lecture. This means you, okay? You got to be here. For exams, it's one thing to miss lecture. You can just get caught up on YouTube. But exams, we don't have... 6 weeks, we don't have jack for leeway. I mean, you got to hit your marks. And those 3 exams, and then the final, those are your marks. You got to hit them. It is physics, but if you don't, here's the second paragraph. It is physics department policy that making up missed work will only be permitted for university-sanctioned activities and bona fide medical or family reasons, as mentioned in the paragraph above. Authentic justifying documentation must be provided in every case and in advance for university-sanctioned activities. Now, for you, those of you that are on a team, debate team or step team or anything, baseball or whatnot, that's the program verification note that your advisor will give you. All right. Everybody else, might be something different. At the discretion, here we go. At the discretion of the instructor, the makeup may take any reasonable and appropriate form, including but not limited to the following: a replacement exam, replacing the missed work with the same score as a later exam, allowing a dropped exam. Now take your pencil or pen and circle the last clause, allowing a dropped exam. That is how we deal with absence on exams. Now lecture, you don't have to ask permission or tell me you're going to be absent on a lecture day. All right? But exams, yeah, they're serious. Those are the ones you have to. Now, I want you to be here for every lecture, but I understand sometimes you can't. So, but exams, definitely. So if you're working off campus, you seniors have got an internship or whatnot, you better clear this exam schedule ASAP. And here it is down here at the bottom. Midterm exam 1. Oh, wait a minute. I guess it's for you guys. It's on the next page. The bottom of the second page. Midterm exam 1 on Thursday, July 5th. So that's the day after 4th of July. Now, we don't have classes on 4th of July this year. All right, so you're going to have a day off. But then the next day back is Thursday, and then you have the weekend off. We're having that exam. And that's the first one. Do not bag it. Just be there and be ready to crush it. And then you can take the rest of the weekend off. Midterm exam 2, Tuesday, July 17th, here in the lecture hall. Midterm exam 3, Thursday, July 20, what is it, 6th? Yeah, July 26th. And then final on August 2nd. So it's basically a month of exams. Oh, it's been nice knowing you. It's going to be, you're going to feel, I'll tell you a story about how you may feel. A few years ago, I taught in the regular fall semester a Physics 2048 class. Now that's Physics 1 for the calculus types, okay? And it was a big class, like bigger than this. It was about 260 students. This is supposedly 220 students. And I went through the entire required material, and we had written problems and tough ones using calculus every week. All 265 or whatever it was. And I was tough. And I didn't apologize for any of it. Those guys are going to be come on down, have a seat somewhere. It's all right. You don't have to be shy. Those guys, boy, I put them through the ringer. They had to work their you-know-what off. And they were not happy because of some of their previous expectations. And there were a lot of them that were seniors. And most of them were engineering students. All right? Now, in this class, there's a lot of health. There's a big group of bio students, biomedical science, and then a huge bunch of health and allied sciences. All right? Now, I know that's a bunch of you, especially the seniors. All right? Now, that's typical for this class. But for this other class that I'm talking about, 2048, a lot of engineering students. They ripped me apart on my evaluations. But I know that the students, many of the students rose to the challenge and they got the job done. Now, that's the prologue to the real story. The real story is like 2 semesters later. I'm over in my office in room 156 in the physical sciences building, and I'm grading papers or doing something, and the door to my office is open, and one of the guys shows up in my door, the door of my office. And I say, oh, howdy. You know. And he says, hi, Dr. B. I just wanted to stop by and talk to you. I said, oh, okay. And he was standing there, and I'm, you know, and he was one of the guys that was really, I mean, there's this group that they sat right over here in the first 3 or 4 rows over there, and hopefully you guys are nice and everything, but those guys, boy, every day it was like daggers coming my way out of their eyeballs, you know. That's all right, you know, I'm tough. Anyways, so he was one of those groups. Dr. B, I hated you. And I hated your class. And I'm thinking, okay. I was calm. I wasn't really worried, but I was thinking, okay, what's coming next? And you know, he's an engineering student, and he's, you know, and they're around the physics department. He said, Dr. B, I hated you, and I hated your class. But now that I've been through engineering another 2 semesters, I am so glad that I had you. Well, that wasn't my reaction. My reaction was, whew, okay. Glad, you know, glad he doesn't have a baseball bat or something like that. Anyway, so he sat down and we talked and stuff, and he came back to visit me a couple times. And do you know what? I helped him get into grad school. He said, Dr. B, could I get a recommendation from you so I can go to grad school? And for you guys, I know a bunch of you, I'm not going to ask for a show of hands, some of you are going to try to get into med school, dental school, PT. I understand that's pretty hard to get into. Physical therapy school. All those are good. My little sister's a physician, electrocardiologist. Yeah, so that's the situation with this class. Now, you know, so that's why I say you're going to be going through the ringer here. I'm not going to compromise on anything like exams or anything, unless there's a hurricane. But other than that, short of a hurricane, you know, you're going to be hating my guts, most of you, by the end of the semester. But hopefully, 2, 3 semesters from now, 2, 3 years ago, or 2, 3 years from now, you'll be thinking, boy, I'm glad I studied that stuff about radioactivity, or that stuff about electrical circuits with Dr. B, and he really marched us through there. All right. So if you feel like, well, I don't want you to cuss me out or anything like that, but if you do feel like it, don't worry. Okay, I've been through it with all, and you know, it might be you sitting over there on the 6th row. Or you up there behind the bar in the bad boy seats. You know, like in the bus, you know, the bad boys always sit in the back of the bus. I never know who it's going to be, but I just want you to know, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it offending me. All right? We got a tough road to hoe, but we're going to do it. And my job is to help you do it. I'm not going to toss you in there. This ain't going to be the Marine Corps Paris Island. You know, it might feel like it, though. But my job is not to be a drill instructor. Oh, I got to. No, don't log off. Cancel. Okay, good. My job is not to be a drill instructor, but to be a teacher. And that means that I try to lift everybody up. And if everybody earns an A, you get it. All right? There's no curves in this class. Okay, down below let's see, where is it on the page here? Down at the bottom of the first column. This is a little out of order. Any cheating that I detect on examinations will be punishable by no less than a 0 on the exam in question, lowering the semester grade, and up to expulsion from UCF. Operating another student's iClicker is also cheating. And I highly and solemnly warn you about getting messed up in GroupMe or any of the other different chat mechanisms that you can use. That's how these, because I'll tell you one other thing. I don't enjoy, giving a student, an F or anything. I hate it. Even students that are trying their hardest, and I don't even like giving them an F, but that's the way it is. And these students, they don't even know. They haven't even gotten notified yet. And so it's grievous. And here it says up to expulsion from UCF. Now that's not something I decide. That's something that the OSC decides. Okay, so I don't know what they're going to do for these students from last semester, but just stay straight and everything will be copacetic with you guys. Okay, let's keep going. Federal surveillance, I've already talked about that. That's the academic integrity module. Grade scale, here it is. And I go by, I was looking at Professor Colwell's. Who had Professor Colwell for 2053? I have no idea what he's doing in his grades. He's got, but maybe it was because I looked at his fall semester syllabus, which they had to modify because of the hurricane. But it was a little unusual. Anyway, so it's a straight percentage basis, but I go by points. In other words, total of 250 points, 90% of that is 225. All right, so if you get 225 points, homework, participation, exams, you get it. You get the A. 188, so that's roughly 75, it's like 75.2% or something. Whole number. 170 or 188. C, 60% performance, that's 150 points out of 250. And 125, that's 50%. You get a D for that. And I know you don't want to get a D. You know what? I don't give out a lot of D's or F's. All right. But the best way to get a D or an F is just not to come to class. But other than that. Anyway, so that's the grade scale. Any questions about the grade scale? Yes?
I know you said lab was separate, but is that going to be included in your point?
No, that's from my class. You know what? I might have to. Somebody's writing back. He's going, yeah, Dr. B, you do. Yeah, I forgot about lab. Because that's 25% of your grade. 20%? Yeah. So I may have to hand out a revised grade scale tomorrow. I'll make it a big, one-page handout. Thank you for reminding me about that. What is your first name? Maya. Maya saved the day. Okay. And what's your name in back there? Kiana. Kiana's backing you up, Maya. She's back there going. Yeah. Listen to Maya, Dr. B. That's what Kiana's back there saying. All right. So anyways, total pointage. You better get like 100% on your labs. I mean, it's like easy to get a good grade in there, I think. Oh, I just heard somebody go, Well, and that's what I thought it was. I mean, you have like 3 hours to do it, don't you? Anyways, now you're going to have to figure out that. Now, so I'll print a new pointage basis for class tomorrow. The sentence in bold at the bottom below that, it says, I do not grade on the curve. Where is that here? Oh yeah, grade scale, yeah. Those tables are a little dislocated there. Yeah, I don't grade on the curve. Now what that means is, if you get the right amount of points, whatever I decide that to be, you're going to get the grade. If somebody tells you that they're grading on a curve, it's really a ripoff, because it's saying that, I can only give so many A's, and then so many B's, and then so many C's, and I can only give a lot of C's and fewer B's and hardly any A's, and then fewer D's and hardly any F's. And if you're thinking, oh, if I just got to pass and get a D, that's lovely. But most of you are trying to get at least a C or higher. And the seniors in here, you want to get, I don't know what seniors want in this class. What do you guys want to get an A? Yeah, okay. All right, because you're heading for med school or something. Or at least graduating. Well, anyways, so, everybody wants to get an A. If you earn an A, and if you get 227 points, but then I curve it and, oh man, I can only give an A to people above 231. If I'm curving by the grade, you're SOL. But I don't curve by the grade, so don't ask me about it. The answer is always no. And I don't have to. I get a nice curve, and my job is to break the curve. As I said, my job is not to be a drill instructor, it's to be a teacher. And my job as a teacher is to get you guys to the point mentally where you crush my exams and break the curve. And push as many of you up into the A's and B's as I can. And every semester it happens, because you guys are going to work hard. I know. I already know that. Okay, so strategy for taking down a top grade. It's not impossible to get a top grade. In other words, to get an A. The exams will have a lot of basic material. And if you do the normal amount of studying, faithfully come to lecture, do your homework every time, you'll find that exams are tough to flunk. All right? In other words, if you do the normal amount of studying, you might not get an A, but you're not going to get a D or an F. All right? But even if you go above the call of duty, above and beyond the call of duty, you come to office hours with me. You come to office hours with Daniel Reinhardt. You talk to your labs partners. You form a study group, and you meet on Wednesday nights right before the exam. And you study and you listen to the YouTubes. You review your lecture notes, and then re-listen to YouTube to get your lecture notes just right. You pray and you do all the homework, and you you read the discussions. You post in discussions. You do all that stuff. You're still going to find hard to ace. To get 100%, that's what I mean by the ace. You're going to have to work your you-know-what off. It can be done, but it will not be easy. All right? And so somewhere between tough to flunk and tough to ace, that's usually where my exams are. Okay? And you'll see it at the first midterm. Okay, there'll be some brain burners on there that are going to be tough to crush. But there's going to be a lot of basic stuff, that if you do the normal amount of studying, ching, 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 you'll be bubbling in those dots and they'll be burning up on the page. They're so hot. All right? But then there's going to be one or two that are going to make you really scratch your head. And the reason, and here's how it is, especially for this class in 6 weeks, it's hard to synthesize. It's hard to synthesize in 14 weeks. Right? In less than half of that time to synthesize and put things together, That's where the really difficult problems are. And that's going to be a challenge, all right? And so we're going to have some of that, but it won't all be brain burners. So just keep that in mind. So study, as it says here, study diligently and faithful, and know that to prosper and to crush everything in your path, you must think, because that is what I want you to do. And you guys in other majors, memorizing might be really good in some of the majors that have big contingents in this class. But memorizing is not going to guarantee an A. It has limited usefulness in a class with me. Because to get all the way to the top, you can't just memorize and regurgitate. You're going to have to think. You're going to have to put things together, pull them apart, and put them back together in a different order. And that's going to require thinking. Just the way it is. All right? Strategy to bring home an F for the semester, just don't come to class. Don't do the homework. I mean, every semester I give out Fs. And students, they don't go to all the midterms. All right? So, of course, they're not going to have best 2 out of 3. They're going to have 1 out of 3. They don't do the homework. So that's a big chunk of points. For us, it's 25 out of 2. It's 10% of your grade. Clicking, they get, they come to class twice, so they get 1 out of 25. So it's, it's kind of hard to do something with but I know that's not going to be you guys. You guys are going to be dedicated. You better be. Homework. I frequently assign homework at the end of each lecture. Now, the homework that you got running right now, the Bernoulli concepts of Bernoulli, it's in web courses. You link out to Wiley Plus. It should work for everybody, and I know some of you have already done it, so that's good. I know it's working. I'll usually assign them at the end of class, or I'll let you know. I'll set them up before class, and then I'll announce it, and then it'll be due the next day. Now, during the week, that means that the assignments can't be too gigantic. We also have during the week the written problem, which I'll probably give out Wednesday this week, and you'll turn it in the next day, Thursday. So you have, about 24 hours to get that done. But normally the problems, and Friday we're going to have homework, but it's going to be over the weekend. So that homework assignment, or not Friday, but Thursday. Thursday we'll have homework over the weekend, so that'll be a little bit bigger. All right. But anyways, that's how I do homework normally, except for like the first few days of class. Okay, questions about that? Grades, homework? Yes?
So when you get out the written homework, will you also get a web courses homework, or it will just be the 24 hours for the written?
Maya, the question was, I'm just practicing names because I like to be able to call on students by name. The question was, will all the homework be in web courses, and how does the written homework? What I'll do for the written homework, I'll put a PDF in web courses, and then you'll print it out, and then you'll do your homework on that. It'll work nicely. Okay, and I'll have it set up so that you can do it on one page. So it's not going to be a ginormous problem, where you construct the Hoover Dam or something like that. No, but it'll be something, a good amount of thinking, but yet small enough that you can hack it in one page. We'll talk more about that on Thursday. Or Wednesday, I should say. Go ahead. The question is, on homework, do you get partial credit for correct steps and stuff like that? And the answer is yes. Hopefully, And I usually have it broken down so that it can be easily graded and easily interpreted, so that you'll be able to see where you got the partial credit if you get some. Okay, so you'll see. Okay. More about iClicking. You have to register your iClicker through web courses. Okay, it works really easily. How many have already done that for class? Wow, good. So I should be able to download your guide. See, what I do is after class I'll synchronize the roster, and I'll have all your guys' clickers identified. Because we're going to do some clicking in a minute, and you guys anybody that has a clicker will be able to click. But my computer that's operating the clicker software doesn't know you from Adam until you register. All my computer knows is the serial number of your clicker and the answer that you click in. So until you register, then I know serial number and your NID, basically. Okay, the deadline for registering for iClicker is July 2nd, right? So that's next Monday. Okay, so Monday, next week, you have to have your iClicker registered. All right, and looks like most of you guys will be, oh, you know what I usually do? I usually give people a bonus point for registering before the deadline. Okay, so get your clicker. Who doesn't have a clicker? Anybody? Bueller? Okay, get yourself a clicker. And register it. And then you register it before July 2nd, you'll get a bonus point, right, for every day that you're registered. Question?
What if you have Reef, like, for the...
Reef? Yeah. No. When you got Reef, we're not, whoa. Okay. We're not doing Reef. We're just doing the clicker. So I know other instructors that have used Reef, but I have actually heard some bad stories about it. So I haven't tried it yet. I doubt that I'm going to, till they get it working better. But yeah, just get, like one of these iClickers here, and just, and if your roommate has one and they're not using it this summer, you can use theirs. But you gotta, go to the number on the back and register it and stuff, and it'll work, So get that done as soon as you can. And every lecture that you're registered, so those of you that are already registered today, before lecture, you'll get a bonus point for today, because we're going to click here in a minute. Nice. Okay. Exam attendance is mandatory. Regular lecture is not mandatory. Actually, everything is voluntary at UCF. I mean, but I don't expect perfect attendance. So what we do is we have a built-in leeway factor, and that is you get full 25 out of 25 for participation if you answer 85% of the questions. So if by August 1st I've asked 100 questions and you've answered 85 of them, ching, 25. It doesn't matter if you answered wrong or right. Now, I also give a bonus for right questions, 4 bonus points for getting 75% correct. So if you want to knock out some bonus pointage, make sure to think before you click. And then you can, if you get 75% clicking correct, it's like getting a B on all the clicking questions for the semester. All right, so then you get 4 bonus points. That's on top of all your regular points. And we still divide by 250. Do you have a question? Somebody, I thought, with the black hat, do you have a... You did have a question, though. No? No? No, not you back there. You up here with the specs. Yeah. No, you're good? Okay. No. Oh, no, you did ask me about the reef. Yeah. No, it's the young lady up here. She's too shy to say anything. That's all right. I thought you had a question. Anybody else have a question? Okay, so the leeway factor, I've just explained it. Now, if you get less than 85%, then we have to deal it out proportionally. And I'm not going to explain that except to say that we'll have an example in a week or two when you have some more clicking on the books. And then we'll have a few students that are less than 85%, and then I'll show how, they can do the clicking pointage, right? It works out pretty good. Most of you guys will have, like 24, 25 out of 25, so it should be good. Now, to earn the participation points, you have to have 3 things running for you. First of all, you have to have the iClicker with you in lecture, of course. And 2, it has to be working order, of course. So if you're, you know what? If you just bought an iClicker, or if you're borrowing it, it might be a good strategy tonight to go home and buy put some new Duracells or Energizers in there, because the batteries that this comes with, are really cheap, and they flake out at the, in the middle of an exam. You don't want that. Right? So they have to be in working order. And then thirdly, you have to be registered through web courses. I have to know who you are. All right, so that's how you interpret that. Okay, now last comment about clicking. Clicking and homework together add up to 50 points. That's equivalent to a midterm. And most of you, if you're a faithful student, faithful with homework and faithful with coming to class and clicking, you're going to get, 48 out of 50, 49 out of 50, 50 out of 50, a lot of you. And that's going to be really nice, because it's like a midterm where so you may think, oh man, I'm never going to get above 30 on a midterm. But if you have 48 out of 50 on homework and clicking, that's a nice chunk of change. Now, the problem with it is you won't know what your total pointage is until the end of the semester. But you'll be able to figure it out along the way, kind of estimate. And I'll show you how to do that as well. But it is a nice chunk of regular points for your grade. So just be here faithfully, and you just nab those 50 out of 50. That's all I have to say about that. Okay, questions about clicking? Yes, in the back.
My question is actually just to clarify about the homework. So it's graded for participation, not correct?
Homework? No. Homework is graded for performance. Okay, so you have to in other words, you have to get it right. Okay, but class participation is participation. So that's not graded for performance. It gets a bonus from performance. 75%, you get 4 bonus points. But the participation itself is just, are you clicking, are you breathing, and are you clicking? All right? Partial credit on homework, the written homework. And also exams if we have written problems. I'm not sure by the way, students, those of you that were in Dr. Dubé's summer A class, I'm working on her final exam right now. And so I'm thinking that my midterms will be a lot like Dr. Dubé's. In other words, her final was all multiple choice, Scantron all the way. But she had you work out problems, and then you had to type in it, or you had to choose a number from the multiple choice set. All right, now normally I don't do that, but I'm going to use that in our midterms and final. And the difference is on the final, in the back, you're still listening? On the final, I might have a written problem to be graded, full page written problem. But I think the midterms are going to be all multiple choice. Okay, I haven't decided yet. We'll have to see. Any other questions before we continue? All right, let's keep going. Exam procedures, yeah. You got to bring up number 2 pencil, good eraser. UCF Scantron, the raspberry colored one, not the little brown one that they use in the School of Business. And bring your iClicker too as well. And because a lot of times I will give you a problem to work out, but you'll click in the number. So like, calculate a net force. Okay, 17.3 newtons. And you'll type in 17.3 and then click it with the send button. So have that ready with you on exams. You may use a scientific calculator. In fact, somebody left one up here. Yeah, right here. One of these jobs, $15 over in the bookstore, Walmart. But not a big programmable calculator. Okay, so get one of these jobs. Borrow it off a roommate or something. You may not use a cell phone for any reason. Okay, so if you don't have if you don't have this, you're SOL. Now, if we have any trig to do, you're really SOL. And we're going to have trig. You just bet on it. All right, so you just got to get one of these jobs. And we'll be using it in class too, so just bring it to class every day. You'll be all right. You must be on time. Now, if you're just rolling out of bed and you're late because you didn't get up in time for a 3 p.m. class, I'm sorry, my friend, you don't get any. But technically, my rule is if you arrive after the first person finishes, that's it. All right? You can't take the test. All right? So just, most of you will be here on time. I'm not worried about it too much. Okay, so no cell phones are allowed. And if you forget it, you're SOL. All right. Now, as is customary, if you take all 3 midterm exams, we'll drop the lowest score, keep the best 2. Most students will be at 3 midterms. This is highly desirable. If you miss an exam, and there will be a few of you that will, due to absence, either excused or unexcused, all right? So you have to miss an exam because of a doctor's appointment. That still is going to be your dropped exam. If you missed the exam because you were kidnapped by space aliens or something, or some lame excuse, that's your dropped exam. I'm not going to. So that's how we do it. That's how we manage it. And most of you will be here for all 3. A few of you will miss one. It happens. But by golly, try to get in here. If you're in the emergency room, tell them to put you on a gurney and wheel you down here. Or lower you from a helicopter. And get you in here if you can. Or you just want to try to get all 3 of those babies on the books. All right? So if you miss one, then the other 2 exams you do take will be your best 2 because they're your only 2. Okay, and this one should be like in super big letters. I do not give makeup exams, neither late nor early. Do I ever give makeup exams? No, I never do. Never. Neither late nor early, so don't even ask. Okay? Only the exams on the schedule. All right? So that includes the final. With a big class like this and the tight amount of time we got, we just got to keep it as simple as we can. So just like totally burn that into your calendar app and burn it into your brain, and just don't miss exams. Final exam is cumulative, mandatory, cannot be dropped. So we can drop one of the 3 midterms, but not the final. Okay. So, and after the 3rd midterm, there'll be 3 lectures, and so we will have some new material in chapters 27, 28, and 30, I think. Okay, so we'll get to that in a minute. And here's another thing for the final especially. You're well advised to make sure your schedule's clear on Thursday, August 2nd, 2018, until after supper. So we'll start at 3 and we'll go to, the end. All right? Do not schedule airline tickets, cruises, or work at your job off campus until well after 6, just for safety. Okay? I have the first priority on your time until 4:50 p.m., and I never budge. Okay, so you tell your boss at your off-campus job, Dr. B, he's an SOB. You go ahead and just tell him that. I don't budge. I'm an SOB, a son of a Brickner. Anyways, but get that squared away with your boss. Do it now, and then you don't have to worry about it. I mean, you got the schedule. Just make sure it's clear. All right? Make perfect attendance for the 4 exam dates your absolute priority. Okay, written problems, homework. I'll assign a written problem for homework. It'll be due Thursday. We'll have 5 assignments of this kind. The scores will add in with the other homework. So we'll have some clicking homework through Wiley Plus, and then we'll have written homework. And so you're going to have a problem for Thursday to bring in, and everybody's going to bring in their paper, all right? And everybody's going to get graded. YouTube lectures. Yeah, I'm recording right now. And I'll put it up on YouTube at the end of today. And there's a link on the homepage. And the homepage is going to get bigger and more elaborate as we add in things. And just so you know, I will be kindly, as with Maya and Kiana up there, I will be kindly disposed toward you if you help me figure out Wiley Plus, because I'm a rookie at it and I'm pretty sure I don't know everything I need to know. So if you find some foible or quirk in it, let me know, and I'll be very happy that you tell me that. Okay? But hopefully, I know it's working, but it's early days, so. Okay, the YouTube lectures, good, we got that. Examination schedule, this is the last paragraph. Examination schedule is like a contract. So now that you've got it, you're committed. All right, now if you can't make it, and you got to drop the class and oh man, you seniors, I hope you can make them all. I mean, you guys are going to be breathing down my neck at the end of July. Dr. B, what's my grade? Dr. B, what's my grade? Dr. B, because you want to graduate and stuff. That's normal. But, just keep this, engraved in your mind. Because we're going to be having more lecture after this. That guy just walked out because we're at the end of the syllabus, but we're not at the end of lecture. Anyway, so, you know what? The last sentence, each midterm exam is on a Tuesday. Better cross that out. One is on a Tuesday, 2 of them are on Thursdays. I had to stagger them this semester. I recycled this paragraph from another semester, so cross that out. It's on the schedule. There's a Thursday, a Tuesday, and then a Thursday, and then another Thursday for the final. So it's not too basic, not too bad. All right, now I'm going to ask you, have your clickers ready. And let me get my clicker. Let me see if I can get this mouse to mouse over here. I'm going to show you the rough lecture topic schedule. And don't try to write it down. I'll put a PDF of this, but you can eyeball it for now. There it is. And I just mapped out all the different chapters. So chapter 31 and 32, the day before the final. All right. And in boldface, you can see over here, where's my clicker here? Here it is. Okay, here's exam 2. Exam 1 is Thursday. So here's Thursday, Tuesday, exam 2, Thursday, exam 3, and then Thursday for the final. And then roughly, these chapters, but I may have to change that, and I might go a little faster, a little slower, just depends. But I consider the course description, fluids, electricity and magnetism, optics, X-rays and radioactivity, I consider that to be an obligation on my part. And so that lecture schedule there pretty much handles all of that. So hopefully we'll be able to hit that. By the way, on exam 1, July 5th, it's an hour test. And so the first hour of class, first 50 minutes, we'll do problem solving, and probably using the document cam, get you thinking. So we'll be doing, it says chapter 20 problems. All right, so we're doing that and then the test. Okay? And then down here, exam 2 on July 17th, chapter 23 problems. First half of class, and then second half of class, the exam. My exams are basically designed to go for an hour. So, and then the midterm, and then the final is double that, so 2 hours should be righteous. And this one over here, exam 3 on July 26th, I guess, yeah. Combo. We'll have just a combo basket of different problems to work on with that. By the way, I think chapter 27 is probably the most important chapter for a lot of you. And then X-rays 31 and 32. For those of you that are going into medical, you definitely need to know about that stuff. And all this stuff is building up to it. But actually, there's a lot of stuff, medical stuff, in the fluids, chapter 1, so that'll be good. Or not chapter 1, but chapter 11. All right, now I have an iClicker question. Turn your clicker on. And the session is running. Look at your clicker. And we want to be on frequency DD. Okay, so hold the power button down. And then press DD. And you'll get a little message that says go nitro. Anybody get go nitro? Okay. And if you don't press the power button until the rectangle flashes. See if this one works. People just leave these things around. Okay. Press it and hold it about a second. Then DD. And you get a check mark that says go nitro. And who got go nitro? All right, good. Let's see if you guys can handle. Okay, frequency DD. What date is it exam 2? I can see you guys. Good. Now this is a practice question, so we'll do practice questions until July 2nd. Then July 2nd they'll start going into our semester pointage. Okay, 10 seconds to vote. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay. Yeah. We had one student vote for B. I don't know what was going on. B, that's today. Anyways, it's a practice question. All right, now this next one is serious, and I want you to give me your best answer. It's a serious question about the final. And if you answer yes, answer yes. If you think no is good, answer no. And everybody will get correct. You'll be marked correct. In fact, I can do it right now. And if you think option C, you got to check with your boss at work. That's good too. I need to know that. And I think we'll actually ask this again later this week when more people have their clickers. Okay, 10 seconds to vote. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good, 91 people answered. And let me I'll switch over to this display. You can see what. So 46% voted no, 46% voted no, 52% voted 47, or 52% voted yes, and a few answered maybe. So we'll take another survey. This is a survey question. If it's marked green, that means everybody gets correct. So I'll ask this again. You can think it over next day or two, and we'll see again what you think. Question?
Just to clarify, if you were to extend it to the UCF extension time, I'm assuming that would be more questions or the same amount of questions?
Same amount it would be the same test, but see, just so the question was, will you have more questions? See, I didn't make a note of that, so maybe that would. Do you want to do another revote? Okay. A do-over? All right, let's see, how do I do this here? All right. Okay, so let me just state in answer to this question. If we do this, it would be the same 100-point test. So basically double of a midterm. But you'd have 2 hours and 50 minutes to take it. Now and just so you know, in a lecture hall class during a 14-week semester, that's how I do it. I have hour-long midterms, and then double that for the final, and but cumulative stuff. So it'll be cumulative. It'll be double the size of a midterm, but you'll have 3 hours to do it. So, question. It'd be, as I mentioned earlier, it'll be multiple choice and maybe one written problem if I think we can grade it fast enough. It depends. We'll know. I'll be able to tell you next week. Because then Daniel Reinhardt and I will have graded your problems. Does that answer your question? I don't have a yes or a no. I have a maybe. But it might. But the thing is, it still would be a 100-point test. So for instance, a midterm might have 20 or 25 multiple choice questions and no written problem. If I do all multiple choice for the final, which I could do, that'd be like 50 multiple choice items, for the Scantron. But if I decide to do a written problem on the final, it would be like 40 Scantron questions and one written. So it would be the same, the only thing is that we're not going to be doing written problems on the midterms, but we might on the final. All right, so let's do a revote. Question up here.
So if it's multiple choice, then it won't be partial credit, right?
Yeah, the only time you get partial credit is on written problems. All right, now if we do that on the final or not, All right, so let's do a revote. Vote again. Now that you know a little bit more how it's going to work. Oh, let me switch back to the. All right. So go ahead and revote. Wow. Okay, 10 seconds to vote. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, let's see what you guys have got. Oh my goodness. Well, we seem to have a change of opinion here. Okay. But nothing's decided, so let me just grade these. So just so you guys know, this is how we grade these so that you can get points. Okay. So I'll let you know. Okay. And the thing is, if somebody doesn't want to have that, then I'll have to take that seriously into account. But it won't be a 3-hour, 3 times of a midterm. It'll still be 2 times a midterm. Yeah, question?
Will you give any exam reviews, like a couple of questions before the exam, optional?
Yeah, we will. The day before. We'll usually do a big mega review for bonus points. My wonderful students, I want you to go into web courses. There are 2 written problems. Number, what are they, 63 and 71? 61 and 73? It's in the front page of web courses. Try to knock those out tonight without looking at the Student Solutions Manual too hard. And we'll talk about those tomorrow first thing. Get your academic integrity module squared away. And then do the concepts of Bernoulli assignment in Wiley Plus. That will be due tomorrow. All right? So you've got some study homework, those 2 problems. One is about prairie dogs and one is about a rooftop. And then concepts of Bernoulli and academic integrity. And we'll just dismiss now. I'll see you tomorrow at 3 p.m. You're dismissed. And you come up to the front if you want to ask questions.
It's been 2 years since I took my Physics 1, so I'm just wondering, on the first day, will you be giving out like a review sheet of the formulas that we should have remembered from that?
Your lecture notes are your study guide.
Okay.
You'll be able to do that. Now, I don't normally give out study guides and stuff, but I do. I'll show you. I'll show you here. Use this so you can get your own. It was just up here. Do you need one? Yeah. I don't know if it works. It might not have batteries in it. Use it till you get your own. Okay. What I normally do is I put a few formulas in matching. So like first 3 or 4 questions will be 3 or 4 matching. I'll give you a formula here and like a concept over here, and you connect it. It's equivalent to a formula sheet, but yet you get points for it. Sound good?
Yeah.
It works pretty good.
I have 2 questions. One, I have a friend who probably already emailed.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm recording all this on the podcast. Let me get my cursor back here. Come on, here we go.